What is the most powerful thing a human being can do? Build an empire? Create a masterpiece? What if the most powerful thing a person can do is to forgive the unforgivable? This is the story of a father whose 20-year-old son was murdered in a senseless act of violence. But it's not a story about revenge. It's a story about the choice he made next. A choice that defies our every instinct. A choice that would lead him to join forces with the family of his son's killer to change the world. His name is Azim Khamisa, and his journey reveals a sacred and mysterious mindset, a philosophy I call the alchemy of forgiveness. It is the process by which the deepest, most unbearable pain can be transformed into the greatest and most healing purpose. In 1995, Azim's beloved son, Tariq, a bright college student, was delivering a pizza when he was shot and killed by a 14-year-old gang initiate named Tony Hicks. It was a tragedy that shattered two families, the family of the victim and the family of the perpetrator, whose own child was now lost to the prison system for life. In the depths of his grief, Azim Khamisa, a devout Sufi Muslim, found himself on a spiritual journey. He battled with rage and a desire for vengeance, but his faith led him to a profound and radical realization. He said, "I came to the conclusion that there were victims at both ends of the gun." He saw that his son Tariq was a victim, but he also saw that Tony Hicks, a 14-year-old boy armed with a gun, was a victim too, a victim of a society that had failed him. This single thought, this act of radical empathy changed everything. A few months after his son's murder, Azim did the unthinkable. He reached out to Ples Felix, the grandfather and guardian of the boy who had killed his son. This was his trick. He chose connection over condemnation. Ples Felix was living in a state of deep shame and grief. He expected anger, accusations, hatred. As he recalled, he looked at me and said, "I don't blame you." That started the healing process. In that moment of grace, the two men, who should have been mortal enemies, found a common ground in their shared loss. They decided to build something together out of the wreckage of their lives. They co-founded the Tariq Khamisa Foundation. Their mission, to stop kids from killing kids. For over 25 years, these two men, the father of the victim and the grandfather of the killer, have stood on stages together, sharing one microphone and telling one story of forgiveness and hope. Their work has reached hundreds of thousands of children. Years later, in the ultimate act of this philosophy, Azim Khamisa advocated for Tony Hicks's release from prison. What is the advice we can learn from this incredible act of grace? First, practice radical empathy. Azim's entire journey began when he forced himself to see the humanity in the boy who acted like a monster. The advice is this: in any conflict, try to look through the other person's eyes for just an instant. Ask not just, what did they do, but what story are they telling themselves? What pain might be driving them? This is the first step toward disarming any conflict. Second, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. As Azim Khamisa has taught the world, forgiveness is not about condoning an act. It's about freeing yourself. Resentment is like drinking poison, and then hoping it will kill your enemies, as Nelson Mandela said. The advice is to stop waiting for an apology that may never come. Forgive for your own peace. Let go of the poison, not for their sake, but for yours. As the great Desmond Tutu said, forgiving is not forgetting, it's actually remembering. Remembering and not using your right to hit back. Finally, their most powerful lesson. The antidote to despair is service. Azim and Ples didn't just grieve, they built a foundation. They channeled their pain into a purpose. The advice from Azim is direct and powerful. What is the antidote to despair? It is service. When you are in your darkest place, the fastest way to find the light is to help someone else find theirs. As Dr. King taught, forgiveness is not an occasional act, it is a constant attitude. In the face of tragedy, we all have a choice. We can build a monument to our pain, or we can use that pain as the foundation for a bridge. The story of Azim Khamisa and Ples Felix is a testament to the power of that bridge, a bridge that leads from despair to hope, from revenge to redemption, And from two broken families to thousands of saved lives,